All right, good evening. My name is David Whiteley with ULTradez, and thank you for stopping by. Tonight is Sunday evening, August the 6th, and I wanted to do this video as kind of an update of where I'm at in this process of attempting to get 20 Apex accounts funded and receive payouts on those. And so last week, I was hoping to get the first accounts through that evaluation phase last week. We didn't quite make it. We did make some good progress in a few accounts. And so I really wanted to sit down tonight and really strategize the week coming up, make sure I understood where I was at, which accounts were more at risk, which accounts were in a good place, to really know where I was at and what my strategy was going forward. So I wanted to just kind of summarize that briefly tonight as we go into the trading week next week. So the first thing that I looked at was to really understand my time constraints, because the way that Apex works is you have a few there's a few sort of constraints around their process, and it's just important that you understand that. So in order to receive a payout, you have to, of course, get the account to the profit target, whatever that is. For a $50,000 account, it's $3,000, so it'd have to have a value of $53,000 before you could request a payout. You can request a minimum of $500 and a maximum of $2,000 for the first 3 payout months, at least in terms of the maximum. After the first 3 payout months, then you can request, as much as you want, up to $100 more than the account minimum balance, which for a $50,000 account would be $50,000. So you could withdraw it down to $50,100 if you wanted to. So the way that they work this is there's 2 payout windows every month. The first payout window is the 1st through the 5th. The second is the 15th through the 20th. From where I'm at, of course, there is a payout window coming up in August. That would be the August 15th through the 20th. However, you have to have 10 trading days in before you can request a payout. So I do not have time once an account becomes funded. If I were to pass one tomorrow, I wouldn't have 10 trading days available to me to have that requirement met before the window closed. Okay. So, I would have had to have it Friday. So, the next one that's open to me is the 1st through the 5th. And of course, the 4th is Labor Day. So that's a holiday. So that one couldn't count as a trading day. I have seen other people talk about how they've had success, I guess. You could trade the 5th as your 10th trading day in this case, because it's the last payout, the last day in the payout window. And then once the day closed in the afternoon, late afternoon, at 5 or 7 o'clock, later that evening, you could then request the payout because it would see that the day is closed, but it's still on the 5th technically. Based on what Apex tells you, they say you would have to wait till the 6th. So I'm not sure. Not being sure, there's no reason to cut it that close. Okay. So I'm really just kind of backing into it, saying, okay, if I need 10 trading days, the last trading day would have to be no later than the 1st of September, which means I have to have my first trading day in a funded account on the 21st, which means I have to have them done no later than next Friday, the 18th. I did just add 4 accounts to my inventory today, and I'll show you why I did that in a second. And so those would have to trade for at least 7 days. So I just wrote, here's my 7-day window. So here's the minimum 7 days I would have to trade in order to get an account through its evaluation period. And then basically that gives me 3 kind of buffer days. All right. So that's the first thing I wanted to be aware of. Then the second thing is I kind of put my MBA hat on and created a tracker for myself so that I could just see very clearly where I stood and then be able to track my progress over these next couple of days. Okay. So here are the accounts, and I just downloaded this, from my Rhythmic dashboard here. So you can see here's 4 brand new accounts with a clean $50,000 balance. These 4 here are ones that I purchased on and traded for the first day on Friday. Or no, I'm sorry, it's these ones right here. These were the Friday accounts. They did end up with a losing day on Friday, but they're still in relatively good shape, all things considered. There are 2 accounts that are in really bad shape. These 2 here, I don't anticipate these will survive, right? The trailing threshold is, at $153 and $161. So, unless you went to like micros and just kind of took forever to work your way back, which I'm not going to do. So I anticipate these won't last. They probably won't last through the day tomorrow. I mean, if they do, that's fine. The next batch up here, these ones are in orange, and that's because these ones, they're very close. I mean, they're very, very close to their trailing drawdown. But they don't have as far to go. They're $700-800 behind. But this trailing drawdown gives us less of a cushion. So these ones are definitely in danger, but there's a possibility we could still pull it out. The thing with these, really all of these accounts here, is that they will renew on August 13th, and I'm not going to renew them. I'll cancel them before then. So August 13th, if we go back to the calendar, is next Sunday. It's a week from today. So if I don't have them passed by Friday, I'll just close them out and cancel them. I'm not going to pay the $34, $36 to get them renewed for another month. It's just not worth it. I will wait until these 11. I think it's 11. Yeah, once these 11 get funded, then I'll add at that point, assuming these don't make it. So that's why they're in orange here. And so that's why I got some additional accounts, because best case, these 20 make it, and those are my 20 funded accounts. Worst case, I have 11, and that's a pretty good place to start. So that's what we're looking at. So the way that I have this broken down is very simply: here's our current account balance. Here's where the trailing drawdown is at. This shows how close we are to that trailing drawdown. Here's the target. The gap is how much we have to make in order to hit our target. And then the daily target shows me how much I would have to make per day in order to fill this gap, basically hit my target. For the green ones, it's within the next 7 days. For these ones down, for these 11 down here, it's within the next 5 days. So if I was to look at that holistically, I would have to, basically the biggest number is $844 a day in order to get all of them done. And then days to this column here, days to pass at the daily target, is if I hit $844 in all accounts, this is how many days it would take to get them passed. Okay. So that's where we stand. So if this is kind of my strategy going into the day tomorrow, is that, if let's say my first trade's a good trade, and maybe I even hit the target for these accounts in that first trade. Okay. I'll disconnect these guys from the trade copier, and then I'll continue to trade these accounts working towards this $844. There's no reason to risk it in these ones, because there's just no reason to do it. These ones, though, I do need to push the envelope. I mean, we're either going to get them passed, or we'll get stopped out and they'll go away. But I might as well go for gold on these guys. Okay, so that's my strategy. And then for tracking purposes, as I go forward next week, I won't do this. I don't think I'll do this past getting these guys funded. But I'll pull in the data here to show my profit and loss for the day, show how my trailing drawdown has been impacted, where I'm at as far as my gap to target, and then if the new daily target based on how much I made, right? So it could go up or down if I made more or less than my daily target. And so that's what I'm going to do. Again, I'm not claiming this is, the best way to do it. But it's the way that makes sense to me. It's the way I feel comfortable with. And for me, just having this all sort of compartmentalized and kind of lined up will make the trading day go much easier for me. I am going to be trading, full position sizes, right? So I'm going to go 4 contracts in my $24,000 account. Is going to be my leader account tomorrow. I'm going to go full 4 contracts, and then I'm not going to go 10 contracts in the $50,000 accounts. I'm just going to double it. I had an issue with the trade copier on Friday, and I don't know for sure, but I think it had to do with the fact that I was doing increments in the ratio. So I was doing I think 2 contracts in my leader account, and then I was doing 2.5 times or 4.5. Yeah, because I was doing 10 contracts. So I was doing 4.5 times the 2 contracts in those 4 accounts. And there was one trade where those 4, the trade copier it got into the trade, but it didn't create a target or stop loss, and that kind of screwed me up. So the only thing that I saw that was unique about those 4 was they had that 0.5 in the ratio. And so I'm going to do just straight, full integer increments there. So I'm going to do 4 contracts in my $24,000 account as my leader account, or $25,000 account. It's my leader account. And then double that in the $50,000 accounts, which is going to be really risky. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 1-to-1 ratio in these guys. So we're going to do 4 contracts here and here, which, the first, this backs up 2 ticks, and these guys are going to be, gone at that point. So I don't know. We'll see. I may reduce it, maybe I'll, well, no, I don't want to do no, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to say that my trade is just going to, go where I want it to go, and these guys are going to make it. If not, oh well. So that's the plan. 4 contracts here. We're going to double it in the $50,000 accounts. We're doing 8 contracts. My target's going to be 10 ticks. If it goes past that, if it goes past 10 ticks, I'm just going to move my stop up to 10, and I'm going to call it a day there. So if I can get 2 of those trades, that's, I don't want to do the math in my head here. That's $80 a tick at 8 contracts. So that's what, $800. So that basically gets me what I need in one trade. So we'll keep our stops tight. We may end up getting stopped out of something that works out, but I'd rather get stopped out for 2 or 3 tick loss than take a full loss. And then wait for the next setup and get that 10 ticks. So that's what I'm looking for tomorrow. If you're not familiar with the strategy that I follow, watch my trade recap videos. I hit on it in those. All right. So for some reason my video cut out. So picking up the recording again a little bit later. That's really all I had to say today. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense. And we'll see how it plays out next week. Anyway, that's my plan. Hopefully you have a plan for next week. Be sure, trade safe, trade your plan, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.